If you tell a person that you're selling your iPhone 13 Pro Max for the iPhone 14 Plus, they're going to say, what's the purpose of that? That's a downgrade. Why would anybody buy that device? Well, everybody has their own reasoning for purchasing whatever device they wanted to purchase. But I was one of those people. Since I had two iPhone 13 Pro Maxes, I sold my blue one and replaced it with this blue, the Sierra Blue, and replaced it with this blue 14 Plus. So the 14 Pro Max, I started with the 14 Pro, but then I bought the 14 Pro Max, and the 14 Pro Max battery life isn't really good either. Just like the 14 Pro, I'm getting about a day with about 6 hours on average for screen on time total. If you want to look at screen on time, maybe at least 24 hours. I'm saying not just like a work day. I'm talking about a 24-hour full cycle, and then I'm getting between 6 and 8 hours of screen on time during that time. And then it's time to put it on the charger, getting into that 24 hours. So the reason I wanted to try this device out is, for one, I could get a good deal on it. And two, I could get it in blue. And I knew I wouldn't miss the extra lens on the phone, because I still could use it on the other 13 Pro Max or the 14 Pro Max. But I really wanted to try this out for the battery and to check the cameras to see if I saw any difference. And what I've learned is that this is a crazy good device. You'll hear a lot of people saying that you should pass on this, it's overpriced, whatever. If you're in the Apple side of things, I understand why they made this device. I'm not saying it's a best choice for everyone, but for a person who wants a big iPhone, and you can't technically buy the iPhone 13 Pro Max from Apple anymore, but you'll have to get it through another party. So if you can find a 13 Pro Max, I've said it before, grab it if you just think you're going to get a better experience. But the people that keep saying that the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the better device of these two, they're just looking at the price of this device. That's all they're looking at. So this device has the same Super Retina XDR display, 6.7, just like the 13 Pro Max. But this one has some of their newer features. This device itself, it doesn't have ProMotion though. I'll say that, it doesn't have ProMotion, but honestly, I can't really tell the difference. And I've put them side by side before, and I don't really see much difference. But it doesn't have ProMotion. But it does have the emergency SOS via satellite. So if you don't have cell phone service, the iPhone 13 Pro Max can do that. And it does have crash detection. Something else that this one also has that the iPhone 13 Pro Max doesn't have is the autofocus on true depth front camera. The 13 Pro Max doesn't have that. And it also has the photonic engine for incredible detail and colors, and I can prove to you that that is so, because I'm going to show you some photos that I took with this device, and it's like, whoa, it's incredible. Now, this device does have a 2x zoom in range where you'll get good quality on it, but it doesn't match the 6x range on the 13 Pro Max. Now, while the 13 Pro Max is rated at up to 28 hours, this is rated at up to 26, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm getting better battery life on this than the 13 Pro Max. So there you have it. So it has the A15, just like the 13 Pro Max, Face ID, all these different things. It's got all that with just a little bit more. It just has a little bit more. You still have the same resolution, 2778 by 1284, giving you 458 pixels per inch. It's an HDR display. It's got 1200 nits, peak brightness, matching the 13 Pro Max. It's pretty much a 13 Pro Max with a few extra goodies in there. That's what you're looking at. Minus the camera, minus the ProMotion. I mean, it's got everything there. It's there. I mean, it's just as good, and you're getting it much better battery life. Now, there's no night mode portraits on here. There's no macro photography. There's no Apple RAW. But in this camera, you do have some functionality. Let me go into the settings here. You have action mode on here, which I think is just, it's worth having on here. You can't get, again, there's certain things on here that you can't get on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. You have 4K cinematic mode. That is something that I genuinely was excited about, because the footage that comes from the front camera on here is ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. That 4K 30 cinematic mode is a nice upgrade compared to the 1080p that is on the 13 Pro Max. It's just what it is. Now, again, you don't have ProRes and all those things, but Apple's not really shooting for that. I think with this, obviously, they're shifting more towards giving a person a big iPhone that costs less. That's really what they're doing here, and they nailed it. I mean, they nailed it. That is just what it is. You've got stereo recording, you got audio zoom, and to top it off, on the front camera, you now have a f1.9 aperture because you have that photonic engine. So I never start follow-up videos like this, but I wanted to point it out this way because a lot of you guys are going to jump in the comments immediately and say, don't buy this because it's not worth it and you're getting robbed. And you're going to say all those things because you don't own it. You're just looking at the paper, and I'm not that kind of person that gets on here and does a review and just give you specs with no proof or just talk about it. I like to lay it all out as to why this could be an option for a lot of people. Now, before this device released, I said a ton of people are going to really like this device because they're going to look at it as an affordable version of a big iPhone. That Apple's way of thinking, this is what they're thinking. You have your Face ID, you get a little bit smaller cutout at the top. You have everything going for this to be a great device. And you have options up to 512 gigs. So the pricing on this starts at $899. Now, obviously, there's a lot of devices that start at $899, but it's going to come down to whether you're buying this because you like Apple or you just wanted a big iPhone or you like the colors, because ultimately you can get it in red and you can get it in all these different colors. Let me see. You can get it in red, blue, black, purple, white, tons of different options for you. But I want to jump back over to battery because this is where I think a lot of people are going to feel excited about this device. So I was doing a video just now. So disregard this charge 19 minutes ago because you don't see the spike there because I didn't actually charge. I was testing out wireless charging when I was doing a video review of this case right here. So the last time this device was charged on Friday. So we can go 3 days. Now today, obviously I'm just starting my day. So I already have an hour and 20 minutes of screen on time. Yesterday, I had 2.5 hours of screen on time. The day before that, I had 4 hours and 25 minutes of screen on time. So I'm gonna easily get 10 hours of screen on time out of this thing. Let me add this up here. Let me add this up and get the fold out and get the calculator out. And so let's go 425 plus 232 plus 119. That's already 7 hours and almost 8 hours of screen on time just based on the last 3 days of continuous use. And I have 23% left. 23% left. So this was done on Wi-Fi. This was done at about 90% Wi-Fi, and the other 10% I was on the move because I've been carrying this device with my fold. So I'm easily going to get 10 hours of screen on time and 3 days of use, period. This is going to happen. That's the battery life that I was getting on the iPhone 13 Pro Max before I updated to iOS 16. Right now on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, don't get full 3 days anymore. Can still pull down 10 hours probably, but definitely not getting 3 days off the charger. That is the resolution for Apple for giving people. This is my opinion, but I think this is why they're doing this. They said we're going to give them a big screen. We're going to water down the iPhone 13 Pro Max by taking away a camera lens, but we're going to give them all the new technology that we can offer. Crash detection, the new upgraded front camera, 4K cinematic video. These are things that technically should have been, at least a 4K cinematic video should have been on the 13 Pro Max, but this is how it goes, man. The slow upgrades, the progression up to the big bang. This is what Apple does. And so I've been reading a lot of comments like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, but remember, I still have a 13 Pro Max as well. And we even have a 12 Pro Max in there, 512. But, the thing is, this device right here competes. The cameras on here are freaking crazy. And I'm going to show you some more samples in this video. If you watched the initial video of this, you saw that I put up a quick video, but I'm going to show you some more photos and things like that. And there's no way that you won't be like, oh man, that is good. Remember, the front camera got an upgrade. The front camera got an upgrade, and the rear camera technically got an upgrade too. But I just focused on cameras because I do video creation, and so that's important to me. And so this device right here to me was a no-brainer, because I said in the other video, I said, if this device can hold down better battery life than the 14 Pro Max, the 14 Pro Max is getting sold. I stand behind that. And already in the last 72 hours, I've been using the devices exactly the same, and it has pulled down more battery. And also I want to talk about hardware. Now, in my initial video of this, you probably saw me saying over and over, man, this is lightweight, this is lightweight. I tested it again off camera. I was like, this is lightweight. It feels so much better than the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the 14 Pro Max. And I had to go check the specs. I was like, does this weigh less? And it does not weigh less than the 14 Pro Max. And it technically, according to Apple's website, oh wait, I retract that. It does weigh less. This weighs 200. I was looking at the width. This weighs 203 grams. The other two weigh 240 grams. So how is it Apple's able to fit this ginormous battery in here, and they're able to do everything with this device and get it just the same size battery? I mean, some people would say, well, they took some stuff out, that's why they can do it. And I need to get an official, I want to go back and see if I can get an official look at the battery and see what the actual, because I think the battery is the same as the 13 Pro Max, but this device weighs less, 40 grams less, definitely. Yeah, this is a 4323 milliamp hour battery. And then on the 13 Pro Max, you have a 4352. So it technically has a little bit smaller battery, but this battery life is ridiculous, man. It has the same battery size as the 14 Pro Max. The 14 Pro Max has a 4323 milliamp hour battery, and this has the same 6 gigs of RAM with a 4323 milliamp hour battery. Folks, when I tell you that this is a major win for Apple folks, I mean, I'm using it alongside my Fold, and the Fold definitely does not go 3 days, but the Fold goes 2 days. But the Fold is also on another level. I got a whole bunch going on right here. So, I'm not comparing these, but I'm telling you, the Fold, people ask me about how you getting this kind of battery life. Well, folks, I tell you all the time, I go in and uninstall anything Facebook, anything Meta. I don't use Facebook, and they bury them in the settings of your devices, especially Android. They're buried in the settings. Go into your settings, unhide all apps, search for Meta or Facebook, and disable or uninstall all of that stuff. That is all I do technically to get things off to help me with battery. But with an iPhone, I don't have to do that because nothing's pre-installed like that. And so with Apple coming with this device, giving it the old people, I saw so many of your comments, old device, current price. Those are all nice comebacks. Those are all nice little shots at Apple. But I don't work for freaking Apple. I'm doing my thing, and I'm telling you, this device, I'm across the board neutral. I have here's my S22 Ultra. I've tried to buy all the devices that I know are going to hit. I know that they're going to make some impact on me to where it's going to be worth it. Now, you're going to say, well, Jay, you don't pay full cost for these devices. Like, you get a discount. You're doggone right I get a discount. But this isn't the first time I've gotten a discount. And sometimes I do have to pay full cost for, like, everybody doesn't offer me a discount. You know what I'm saying? So I try to scratch any coupon or anything I can get. You should do the same. Flexing saying that you paid the full cost, that's a weak flex. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't want to flex that you paid all this money up front for it. That's not what I'm doing. But when I get a discount on something, I'm happy. I'm proud about it. I love my government discount. I love my military discount. I love any discount I can freaking get. But at the same time, is this worth $899 in comparison to other iPhone devices? And the answer is yes. This is worth $899 in comparison to Apple devices. And then when you compare it to other $899 Android devices, we really start to have a conversation. because Android is definitely my favorite operating system and has been for quite some time when BlackBerry went away. But I'm going to tell you, the versatility of Android to me definitely supersedes Apple's iOS, but they are coming along. And where Apple kills it is where they know people are going to be looking. People want a big display, they want a high resolution display, they want fantastic cameras, they want good battery life, and they want something that's going to just flow right along smoothly. This doesn't have ProMotion, but I can't even tell. Now, when I put them side by side and I record a video and slow it down, well, then obviously I'll be able to see that this doesn't have ProMotion. But how many consumers are actually doing that? Absolutely none. So when you see people saying, don't get that trash, you'll see them in this comments of this video. They're all over the internet. You'll see them here. It's stupid to buy that. Folks, I'm the creator and reviewer that's actually trying to be on your side and give you good deals if this is what you want to know. I'm using the devices and I'm locked in, and I'm trying to give you the most honest and neutral review on a device. I'm not just making one video about it. I'm making a ton of videos if I can, and I'm trying to give it to you all at once. And as most as I can in a video that I know you can sit down and keep your attention span long enough to watch it all. But I feel like Apple has a win here. And I said that before I even had this device. Once I saw it, I was like, you know what? This device is good. It's gonna be the 13 Pro Max on another level because it's gonna get better battery life. And at that time, I didn't even realize that it didn't have ProMotion. I just felt like it was a watered down iPhone 13 Pro Max with better cameras and a few more features. But it's more than that. It's more than that. You see how these applications flow in and out of each other? They just flow in and out, just like that. It is all about what the consumer wants to see in their hand and get in their hand and feel like they're getting a good deal. And this is where Apple's marketing comes in. And they always win. So when I look at this device, I don't see it as a fail or, Apple's trying to screw the consumers over. I see it as they're adding something to their lineup, because we can definitely say the same thing about Samsung and some other OEMs. Everybody trashed OnePlus for the OnePlus 10 Pro, and I love the OnePlus 10 Pro. Everybody said the OnePlus 10T was a bad phone. I love the OnePlus 10T. Why does this device exist? This is why you need to think for yourself, make your own decisions, and only use these videos that you're watching as a crutch or a stepping stool or a ladder to help you get to where you want to be when buying a new smartphone. SmartphoneConversations.com, that's the plug. The cameras on here are boss, so I'm going to close out with the camera portion of this video. I gave you a lot of tech spec. I gave you a lot of talking about the phone itself and my experience. 3 days in, 23% left on the battery, and I guarantee you I'm going to knock back 10 hours of screen on time, and I'll probably put this on the charger maybe at 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. It is going to last. And I know I'm going to get another 8 hours out of this. I'm telling you, this device will probably give me more than 10 hours of screen on time. I could probably make it till midnight or the next morning, depending on what I'm doing. And then if I go into settings and I turn on the battery, say ultra battery mode or whatever right here, this is going to really knock it down. It's going to really knock it down. So I don't use that. You know what I'm saying? That's just not me. That's just not what I use. I could do it, but I just choose not to do it. But I'm telling you folks, this is a phenomenal deal if you're an Apple person. And even if you're not an Apple person and you're an Android person that's used to bigger phones, but you don't want to buy the Pro models of the device, because people who are, you're talking to somebody who has the Pro models, people are telling you that this is a bad purchase and Apple's playing you. I could go on the limb and go ahead and say Android's doing the same thing. There are a ton of Android devices that are definitely not worth the price when you start to look at what they offer. Now, currently, the Pixel 7 Pro is, to me, it's going to be the ultimate competitor for all the Pro Maxes, and it's probably going to wash this device up. I don't know. The cameras obviously offer more, but so what I'll do is I'll probably put the 7 against this one. But the 7 costs less, so automatically Google's got to win right there. So I'm just forgetting about price, man. I'm just going to put these devices against each other. How about that? Screw the price. You're just going to get some blind camera tests like I did before. I'm going to just give it to you like that. Let's take a look at these cameras. We're going to get out of here, and I appreciate you joining me for another video. Let's get it. So this is the front camera and cinematic video with the 14 Plus. And I actually recorded some footage the other day, and I put it in the other video. But But I wanted to go ahead and show you here again on a different day. I think I recorded that footage on Friday evening, and it is early in the morning here. Well, not early in the morning, but it's early enough. Well, it's only 12 something. But I want to go ahead and show you some more footage and listen to the microphones and how I'm talking at just a normal tone, and it's picking up. The quality is just ridiculous. And you know, it's actually really windy. Even though I'm standing under the shaded area, it's extremely windy out here. So you let me know what you think about that too. Now let's take some photos. All right, so now here's the rear camera, 4K, cinematic video, rear camera. The tones will probably look a little bit different, but yeah, it's looking pretty good, man. I mean, honestly, if you're a camera person, you could get this 14 plus and get you a 512 if you wanted to, and pass on the pro models, because it doesn't have all the lenses, but it does have the quality, and that's the most important thing.